Yes, I am, and now we're live. Welcome to episode one of Shooting Ship with the Shipwrights. What the skill tree? Um, I got two luscious here with me. One is you probably know them both. One is Milmar, give a drunken high, and the other one is our new NPR Star Trek Online correspondent, Francis, Michael Francis. Say hi. Yes, there may or may not be some sweaty balls and dusty muffins later on. Bonus points if you know the reference. Anyway, so welcome to Shooting Ship with the Shipwrights, the Stonewall Fleet live stream. This again is our premiere episode, episode 1, 11 point What the Skill Tree. Today we're going to give you a brief overview of the new skill system and give you our recommendations for each tree and basically each playstyle. We'll cover each line of the skill tree, each unlock, and class ultimate abilities. And spoiler alert: the ultimate abilities are so worth it. Like you really don't understand; they are so worth it, except for one. But the other two, they're so totally worth it. Right, Francis? Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get started here. The skill tree, in case you all haven't, realized it, is a serious departure from the last skill tree. So instead of getting skill points as you go complete missions or kill enemies, you actually just go ahead and get them as you level up. You get a maximum of 46 on the space side, and you get 10 on the ground side. So let me just go ahead and pull up the skill tree here. So that's the new skill tree. And also with the previous skill system, you're not really incentivized to max out any particular skill unless you want to be super invested, as Milmar has told me many, many times. But with this skill tree, you actually are incentivized because that's the only way in maxing out some of these skill branches are the only way you're going to be able to unlock the ultimate abilities. Now, yeah. Absolutely. Now, each class you can see here, engineering, science, and tactical, they get their own skill tree, and every 5 points you get a pretty nice unlock that you really don't have to invest any points in, just have to make a big decision. Like the big one I see is at engineering 5, you get a choice between hangar health, basically your hangar pet health, or battery expertise, which increase the duration of most battery devices by 100%. That's really not even a choice. Because yeah, first I know not a lot of people fly things with hangar pets, and two, if they die, you could just respawn that ship. Yeah. Oh, I thought we tested it last night and it worked. Oopsie, my bad. So you guys couldn't hear Milmar or Francis because apparently I had my system sound elsewhere. So if you guys could go ahead, Milmar or Francis, say something real quick, and so we can test it out.
Something real quick so we can test it out.
Hello.
How's that working out for you?
It works.
Okay, there we go. Again, oopsie, my bad. But yeah. Milmar was saying about let's just go back a little bit. Let's just backtrack a little bit. Um,
The temptation to mute you, rising.
oh, jeez. Okay.
He's just jealous we're on his event right now.
Lars, you didn't have to move it. You could have just, taken a break from leveling because God knows that leveling in this game is such a grind. Anyway, so Milmar was mentioning that although yes, you are really incentivized to max out some of these branches, you really get a lot of diminishing returns. And when I was talking about the choice selection between Hanger Pets, Health, and Battery Expertise, really, you want Battery's Expertise because Hanger Health, who really needs that shit? I don't think anyone does. I fly a lot of carriers, and I don't need that shit.
Now,
If they
I
die,
think-
It depends.
if they
Well,
die,
hold
you
on.
could just respawn it. It doesn't take that much to respawn.
I think the
If I
big
do-
question is, why do you want battery over hanger health, and why is battery expertise such a very strong something to put points in? I think that was very curious from even the last skill build that we all had.
Absolutely, yeah. Basically, most batteries will boost your power levels, and if you're an engineer, activating any batteries will boost almost pretty much. There's actually an engineering trait that using a battery or emergency power ability will boost all your power levels. So basically, it's like an instant red matter capacitor right away, and you're doubling the duration of it, which increases your
Yeah.
power level. And if you have a warp core with amp, that definitely will boost and keep your power levels above 75%. So that way you can get that bonus damage. So that's why we really recommend batteries over anything else, really.
The thing is, I know a lot of people don't use batteries, but I will say if you actually get into the habit of using them, they can almost have a transformative effect on the efficiency of your ship builds often.
Absolutely, especially with the new craftable batteries.
Mm-hmm. As Francis found out yesterday when I was using the batteries for exotic damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next let's talk about what happens if you invest 24 points. At 24 points, you get access to one of the 3 ultimate abilities. Now, each tree has an ultimate abilities. Like I said earlier, we really like 2 of them, and one of them is really just eh. Or as Francis puts it, how'd you put it, Francis?
Loud sigh or audible sigh.
There you go. Pretty much. Another thing that they decided to do was the Bridge Officer manuals. Investing in any skill tree does unlock abilities across all classes. Now, for example, one of my favorite skills is Beam Overload 3. Now, in order for me to unlock Beam Overload 3, I would have to actually invest, and that's a tactical ability, but I would actually have to invest 17 points in the Science tree, which is not something that I am willing to do easily, even for Beam Overload 3.
That's something a lot of tactical captains are not going to be particularly keen on, really.
Yeah, so if you are if you are so inclined that you want to make a science-focused tactical captain, go ahead and get this Beam Overload 3 and start selling that on the exchange, because I'm guessing you're going to be making a mint at some point.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Beam Overload 3.
certainly. It is
Mhm.
one of the highest selling ones, just because it is so good.
It is so good, especially if you got the duty officers. So yeah, and now Torpedo Spread 3, it's pretty easy to unlock if you're a tactical captain. It's a tactical skill, and it's unlocked by investing 17 points in the tactical tree. Of course, if you're an engineer or science, you really don't want any of those 2 abilities that 17 points in tactical gives you, because seriously, who needs Azaton Beam 3? Anyway.
It's a failing. It's a failing bridge officer ability. It really honestly does.
It really is. And Viral Matrix 3, I know that there has been, this rumor that somebody has been able to kill a tactical cube with Viral Matrix 3 and Energy Drain, but I have yet to see it happen. And until I can verify it, I am not recommending anyone use Viral Matrix 3 at this point. So anyway, today we're going to give you general builds for the 3 classes so you can get a good idea how you can recreate your existing build or the build from pre-11.5 over into the new system. Then we'll talk about the passive unlocks and the ultimate abilities and their boosters. In our second segment today, we're going to talk about the strategist specialization. And then finally, we're going to be building a Khopesh. If we have time, we're going to be building a Khopesh. What is this thing dancing on my desk?
What are you talking about? It's a beautiful, beautiful.
Look at that trollop.
There we go. Much better. So let's go ahead and start with the tactical tree. Of all the trees, of all the skill trees, I really think that this is the one that has undergone the least amount of changes. And if you're not after the ultimate ability, you can invest 1 or 2 points in the skill tree and in the branches and be relatively okay. The only branch I would recommend investing 2 points in is defensive maneuvering because it helps survivability. Also, hull penetration and that superior, they changed it from triple. It's now called improved shield weakening. I would actually, across all builds, I have went ahead and put 1 point in hull penetration and shield weakening, just because those are such great abilities. And it helps the damage in. So this
Again, like all things, this is just a suggestion. It'll depend entirely on what your ship is and what you want it to be. So, like, that's it. It's not meant to be the be all and end all. If you have this, it's perfect for every situation.
Very much so.
Absolutely. Okay, so first thing, we gotta invest 5 points to unlock the Lieutenant Commander track. So I like going ahead and just investing 3 points in energy weapons, all 3 points in energy weapons, and 1 point in shield capacity, and 1 point in hull capacity.
What is this in front of us, Akune?
Say what?
In front of us, what is that?
In front of who?
Look forward. Is it just me that can see the big Herald ship trying to get through the door?
There's a
Holy crap!
ship in operation. Turn around.
What the hell? Oh my god! Now I know how those cryptic folks feel.
Thanks, Dental.
Is that Starfleet Dental?
Yes.
Milmar, go ahead and bow to them, but yeah. Just say, well played, Dental, well played. Wow.
I haven't unlocked bow.
You will not bow!
Why did I say bow?
They can't even get in, can they?
No, it's too big.
No, and they're knocking me around.
They're knocking you around! That's kind of funny. Alright.
Okay, that amuses me more than it should, but let's
yes, it amuses me more than it should too, yeah. Alright, so the skill tree. Let's just go ahead and block the bouncing herald ship off. Let's just make this big. Okay, so we got three skill points in energy weapons training, so that all the way up to advanced. I did 1 point in shield capacity and 1 point in hull capacity. Now, restoration, there's a big difference between why I don't put any points in restoration. Restoration is heal over time when you're out of combat. And really, if you're out of combat, you really don't need restoration at that point. You need it during combat. And that's when we actually go into the other, further down the line, further down the tree, that's where we'll be investing points in. So that unlocked the Lieutenant Commander slot. So now we want to go ahead and do targeting expertise. Let's do 3 points there. And 3 points in defensive maneuvering, because as a tactical captain, Speed is one of your one of your shields.
Also, Kone, one thing.
Yeah.
Have you mixed the two science things up? Isn't restoration here, if you read the description, the shield healing abilities? It's like this engraph restored by your outgoing healing abilities.
Restoration is healing.
You, that's right. Okay,
and
restoration is healing. Regeneration is heal over time.
Yeah. As I like to call it, hot.
Yes, you do. Okay, yeah, that's true, but I still didn't put any points in there just because.
Because you don't do healing.
I don't do healing, especially as a tactical, really. If you're dying, it's because one, you're not going fast enough, and two, you're not killing things fast enough.
Yeah, I've seen you die loads of times.
Yes, it's because I wasn't going fast enough and I wasn't killing things fast enough.
Usually going down in flames, screaming, heal me, heal me, heal me.
Only because you don't heal me.
This sounds very, very familiar.
It's very satisfying, honestly. You should.
Anyway, so 2 points in impulse expertise, and just so you can go zoom faster. The other two things I want to talk about on this level is control expertise. Control expertise and drain expertise. You want to put 1 point in each of them because it will, not only do these things actually give you those two skills, but actually helps you resist anything that drains or control you. So
we do have a question.
Yes,
we do.
Someone asking
Nola
for projectile weapon training.
No, because you really don't need it. Projectile weapons are pretty punchy all in itself, especially the neutronic torpedoes and the anti-proton. If you were lucky enough to get the anti-proton torpedo from the crystalline entity event the other day, you can actually boost. You can actually get higher returns boosting the anti-proton torpedoes with anti-proton consoles, which actually do boost the torpedo, than you would by investing points into the skill tree. And
another way of explaining this is, on most ships, you have one torpedo, perhaps, and at most. So you usually have about 5 or 6 energy weapons, a torpedo in there somewhere.
Bare minimum.
It's not really worth putting lots of skill points into a torp builds, unless you built a torpedo weapons because you only have one.
Absolutely.
When over 90% of your damage is coming from energy weapons. If you have a torp build where you have lots of torpedoes, that's different.
Yep.
Right. If you're doing a full torpedo build, then you would most likely want to put all your points in torpedo. However, Ikune usually flies with energy weapons.
Lots and lots of energy weapons. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have builds that use torpedoes. I do, but I boost the torpedo damage elsewhere. I don't do it in my skill tree. Okay, so we got the commander level unlocked now. Now, let's go talk about hull plating. Hull plating, that's a primary defense there, and I want to invest points in energized hull plating instead of ablative hull plating, because ablative does kinetic damage and ablative, potato.
Please do that, because it just means I will kill you all that much faster.
Yes, yay. I like putting points in energized hull plating because that's energy damage. I know Milmar uses a lot of kinetic damage, but most NPCs use energy damage to do their damage. Unless you're PvPing Milmar, put your points in energy hull plating. I also went ahead and put 2 points into shield hardness. Hardness. And then we max out these 3 because of weapon amplification. You're going over. This is an offensive focus build, so we want to go ahead and max our crit chance and crit damage. This should unlock the next tree, the captain level tree, and you want to put the bonus. You want to put points into the defensive and offensive subsystem tuning, and you want to put another point into weapon subsystem performance. Then 1 point in exotic particle generator, just because it's 1 point, it's not gonna hurt. And 1 point into long range targeting system for now, and there's an option for you to put another point. We'll discuss that a little bit later, and we'll discuss what this is about later. Next goes to my two favorite skill in the tactical tree, the hull penetration and the shield weakening. Absolutely, 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 if you're going offensive focus, to max these two branches out rather. This will hull penetration. Basically, if they have defense, a certain percentage of your damage is going to bypass that defense. At 3 points, it's what is it? Looks like you get plus 15 hull penetration. I'm not sure what that translates to in percentages, but it's a lot. Next, so that unlocks the final level. I went ahead and put a point in warp core potential and improve warp core potential because that gives just a flat bonus to all subsystem powers. Then there's,
which is fantastic.
Yes, and I did not put any points in engineering readiness. I did the original build I had did put 1 point to original scientific readiness, but we can go ahead and move that on over to improve long range targeting sensors. Now this science skill, certain when you're flying ship with cannons, the further you are from the target, the less damage you actually are dealing. So you kind of want to be almost kissing the damn cube in order for you to do significant amount damage, and it is a significant amount of damage. This reduces the penalty from this long range targeting sensors, reduces the penalty for being too far out. You still have to be within 10 kilometers of the target, but the distance penalty at 1 point reduces down to maximum distance penalty is just negative 40 of your total maximum damage, and at 2 points it's negative. It just only knocks out 30% of your total damage. So it's worth it to put 2 points in if you don't want the science skill cooldown. But I kind of like it because, as Milmars puts it, I die a lot and I need all the healing I can get. And shield and science team and what's that other one? Transfer shield strength are shield healings for me, and I need them a lot. Also, shield mastery and shield reflection. Shield reflection is kind of like a little mini feedback pulse. Now, next is tactical readiness. I want to max out on that because that reduces cooldown on all my tactical abilities, bridge officer abilities. Now, I went ahead, and my original build again has 2 points in coordination protocols because I fly a lot of hangars, and offensive coordination because again hangars. But if you are not flying a ship, or you don't have any ships with hangars, then absolutely go ahead and put 2 points into projectile training. If you're going to be using torpedo, it is a boost. If you are using flying ship with hangars, I would recommend at least 1 point in coordination protocol, or you could split the difference. The last 2 points in tactical is up to you, but you really want to put those 2 points in tactical, and let me tell you why. Let me go ahead and just go ahead and put 1 point in projectile because this tune actually does not have any hangers. So actually, I'm just going to put 2 points in projectile there. The reason why is the ultimate ability, the tactical ultimate ability, is frenzied, focused frenzied. You mark a target and it increases your weapon's fire rate as well as now frenzied reaction. It will reduce the bridge officer cooldown on bridge officer abilities with each hit, which we really like. That kind of, if you don't have reciprocity, like this tune does not have reciprocity, that helps it. And then you also got frenzied assault, which gives a stacking damage bonus with each hit, which we really like that also. The one thing about this thing is it's just so sensitive. The moment you move your mouse anywhere, it just that's the one thing they need to fix that. Anyway, so that's the tactical build. We'll go ahead and post. Post all the builds that we do later on. After the live stream, and also we're going to be posting the video of the live stream later on also. So let me go ahead and switch tunes here, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the engineering tree.
Oh, the tree.
Yeah, this is where it becomes audible. Reach the ultimate.
The engineering tree is very useful, and the truth is everyone should be putting points into it, without a doubt.
Absolutely. I mean, I tend to advocate that no matter what class...
Really, there's nothing that is majorly good out of the tree. There's a few important pickups.
God damn it, I don't want to talk to the battle master.
So, Doc, yes, I personally, the way that I work, because I actually use not torpedoes, but because I'm using cannons, I do put 3 points in long range sensors, but you don't necessarily need to.
Absolutely. Now, like Milmar said, I always advocate no matter what your class is or what tree you focus on, you spend at least 10 points in the engineering tree. You can't fling those cool science abilities or dish out the insanely high DPS if you're dead or if you don't have the power level.
Which is what I'm always trying to tell Q&A when he's like, oh, I don't need heals.
Yes, because that's what I have you for.
Oh,
Well,
please.
That's because you've got a fantastic wingman. That's the thing.
Yes. Anyway, so at least if you are going to just spend minimum points, at least invest in hull plating and energized hull. As the majority damage in this game, like I said earlier, is energy damage. You also want weapon subsystem performance or auxiliary subsystem performance for your tactical or science captain, and 1 point in hull capacity and hull restoration. Anyway,
for the engineering bit, yeah, it will. The systems that you boost will depend on what type of ship you're flying.
Absolutely.
So for me, go on.
So, this is the engineering tree. I'm not gonna go ahead and build it because it's a meh tree. So, and we already talked about most of them anyway.
Can we just say as well, the engineering tree really, unless you're desperately in want of the engineering ultimate ability, as an engineering captain in an engineering ship, you're probably going to put most of your points into tactical.
Yep. But this track really is really to unlock the ultimate ability, which it is an audible sigh, but
what it ultimately does is it replaces plasmic or the embassy consoles with the plasma generating proc. It just does that every X amount of seconds, 90 seconds, I believe.
Yeah. But really, to max out, also if you kind of just invest a lot of points in engineering, you really are going to really boost your survivability. You're not going to be doing a lot of damage. But you're never going to have any power issues. And you're not going to have survivability issues either. So that's a plus, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care about surviving all that much when I'm flying an escort. So, as Milmar would say. But as always here, I didn't put too much points in damage control, and really I could really move that on over to advanced hull restoration to improve my hull healing ability. Of course, we got the hull plating and energize and ablative or ablative or whatever you say it.
Ablative.
Whatever. And warp core efficiency, and I only put 1 point in engineering readiness because really that's all I need. I did put 1 point into scientific and tactical readiness, and here you see I didn't put any points in coordination protocol. 1 point shield mastery, 2 points in improved long-range targeting sensors, just because. And so pretty much everything is pretty much this is pretty much built to maximize my survivability and maximize my power levels. And that's pretty much it. The damage, the ultimate, and the booster, like we said, we're not too thrilled about it. It's okay enough that if you want to go for it, that we're not going to talk you out of it, but it's not a must. It's not a must like the science one is. Now the science one is a must, and let me go ahead and change character so we can talk about that one.
Having tried it, I am a big fan of the Science Ultimate.
I am as well, mainly due to the fact that it crits all of your damage, not just your energy or projectile damage.
So for your science abilities, some of which can hit for a few thousand a second, they'll all be critting.
Absolutely. So here is the science tree. The science tree, it's hard for me because it's hard for me to justify putting points into some of these things. Like shield regeneration, I really don't want to.
I put 2 points into it to just fill it out, but yeah, I agree. It's not a great skill, the shield regeneration, because it's like, oh, my shields regenerate. Oh boy.
Yeah, the problem I have with science tree is a lot of the tree. It's kind of like the opposite of what engineering has. Engineering, you want all those skills in the tree, but you don't necessarily want the ultimate ability. In science, you want the ultimate ability, but you don't necessarily want all the skill in the tree.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of really
There
really
is really
good stuff in there, though.
yes, absolutely, like control expertise, the full tree there, and drain expertise, the full tree there. Advanced long range targeting, advanced exotic generation particle generation, and let's see here, shield mastery, the shield reflection, shield absorption. Those are very good skills, but then you got things like shield regeneration and shield hardness, which I'm not exactly sure what it is. All I know is that it makes my shield harder to take down. Okay, I'm science, I can always heal my shields, right? So, but let's talk about the ultimate ability here. Ultimate ability basically it's called probability manipulation.
Wait.
Yeah?
It's called shield hardness, and your
Yeah. Negates 0.2% of the damage your shield takes. 0.2%. What the hell am I going to do with 0.2%, Millie?
Well, when you put 2 points into it, you get down to 16%. You get up to 16% negated damage.
Oh, whoopee, 16%.
That's a pretty sizable amount.
Yeah, but out of a shield of 10,000?
Yeah, but in a science ship, your shield is closer to 30,000.
I'm in a science ship right now. Am I in sector space? Yes, I am. Damn it. Okay, so it's not going to give me an accurate read. Oh, well, whatever. No, but seriously, at that, it's not going. It's still. I still don't think it's that much. I mean, I've invested 3 points
into that one.
I invested 3 points into it because I didn't want to put points into regeneration.
I put 2 points into regen because fine, why not? I just put them somewhere.
I did the 2 points in scientific readiness, and I'm thinking of moving that point in shield regeneration into scientific readiness, advanced scientific readiness, because science skills, they have some of the longest cooldowns in the game. So if you're a science captain and you want to fling all this cool science ability, then absolutely fill out their science tree. But okay,
I will say that is very true. My science ship is very bursty just because cooldowns are so long.
Mm-hmm. So probability manipulation. Like they said earlier, for a small window of time, you can force the universe to see things your way. This is straight from the tooltip, vastly increasing the chance that every bit of damage done to your foes will be a critical hit. So yeah, that's, again, like they said, it's tractor-beam repulsors, gravity well, Tychon's Rift, energy drain, anything that does damage anything that does damage from your ship. Now, there's 3 unlocks: probability shell, probability penetration, probability window. First one that's absolute critical is probability window, because it increases the duration of probability manipulation. The next one is the one I would recommend unlocking is penetration, because they suffer stacking damage resistance when debuff when you crit, and when you're getting them critted a lot, that's going to be a lot of debuffs. Now,
I would say actually all 3 of them are kind of important. The reduced bridge officer cooldowns as well.
The reduced bridge officer cooldown, that's from tactical. Science don't get reduced bridge officer cooldown. The third one is probability shell, which doubles the hull and shield healing. Which is pretty good. I mean, I don't have any survivability issue on my science ship, but that if you are having survivability issues, I mean, that is actually pretty good.
No. Doubling the hull and shield heals is always good. It's never ever a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I just don't need it. It's just me though. The guy that dies, the guy that does an insane amount of damage but dies a lot. So, so anyway, So that's pretty much the three skills, the three classes, the three trees, I guess. And so Milmar, Francis, what do you think? Is there any skills that you think are just not worth it?
Oh, from everything I've learned thus far, you don't need to put anything in any type of healed over time. It's definitely not worth it, especially if you are consistently putting if you have a engineering team 2 or a science team 2, those definitely help you in the long run versus, just a regen.
Right. And do you think is there any special circumstances we may think of that may you may do a different tree on?
Well, I did a very different tree to you, remember? For your,
Yes, I did. But
like,
you,
for example, my science officer only has 4 points of tactical. But again, this is the sort of areas where you've got a rather specialized build. The builds that we're talking about today are more generalized, sort of like all-purpose, will kind of get you through most things quite happily.
absolutely.
Right. And I was testing this out with someone else the other day, and we didn't actually end up reaching the ultimates. I mean, I would say the ultimates are something that you would want to take the time and invest points towards, because they will ultimately be a payoff. However, you don't necessarily need to use them if you're doing a full utility build. You can max out your points across the board just so you can kind of feel your way for the first X amount of months that you're playing this. But these are most likely the recommended builds for engineering, science, and tactical. And the way to really honestly think about this is not necessarily science, tactical, and engineering, but think of it as a offensive, utility, and as well as a supportive role.
Absolutely. That's why I don't call them a tactical science or engineering build. I call them offensive, defensive, and utilitarian. Now, there is that Romulan elephant in the room. Yes, they do have lower, lower energy levels, and their hull is basically made out of paper. I don't know why the Enterprise D had such a hard time with them. Seriously, why? Anyway, blame
They did also have a 12-year-old at the helm.
Well, yeah, they gave the kid the keys, they gave the blind guy the keys.
And they gave the woman the key, and she crashed the ship.
Oh, come on.
Although, I don't think it was because more of the fact she was a woman. I think it was more the fact she was Beta Z. Because remember, Voyager got lost when a Beta Z was at the helm.
She was a counselor. That was
Okay.
her primary function. Let's not throw other things into it.
Yeah, true. Okay. Anyway, but yes, they do have lower hull. Yes, they do have lower energy levels, but I don't think you really need to make any adjustments to it, because in the long run, if you really, as later, we're going to be building a scimitar, and I'll show you that there is no reason why you should have any power level issues. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So the build really is still just going to stay the same here. So that's pretty much it for the first topic of the day. Next, we're going to talk about the new secondary specialization, the strategist. So let me go ahead and switch on over to Ikune, and so I can show you that completely maxed out.
Also, something that you guys might want to take in mind, the builds that we've put together are not necessarily, they're for everyday use. However, our tactical build, I noticed the other day, is very similar to the DPS channel's official tactical build. The only difference is that there's 3 points in long-range targeting sensors in the science, and then I believe there's an additional point in engineering. But other than that, it's pretty close.
Absolutely. So, okay, so here's, ignore my messy inventory. So here is the specialization strategist. Yes, I do miss the speed boost I get from having pilot as my secondary specialization, but let me tell you, the damage is just so much better.
It's a great
yes,
it's a great tree.
It is. It is. Now, specialization point you get as you level up after level 50. And you keep getting it until you keep getting specialization point every time you max out your bar until you completely max it all out. And of course, Cryptic gives away free specialization points like it's candy or something because I don't know, we're addicted to them or something. Yes, we are totally so addicted. Give us more Cryptic. Anyway, so Strategist is the new secondary specialization. It's definitely a versatile one. It's kind of is offensive and defensive. Um, I really, really, really like it, in case you haven't realized it already. Now, the specialization hinges on a new starship ability that replaces, what was it? Abandoned ship, that called Threatening Stance. Yes, Abandoned Ship. If you talk to one of the fleet admirals, William Janeway, that's his primary damage dealing ability.
Don't you remember when you slotted that in a 7-bar?
No, that wasn't Janeway, was it? Please tell me that wasn't Janeway.
Oh wait, no, that was also you.
It was not me. I swear it wasn't me, asshole. By the way, Francis, how's that Dauntless build coming?
It was posted.
No, it wasn't. I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, I made it. Yeah,
It was
I
awful.
posted it. It was terrible.
Yes, it was awful. The Dauntless is awful.
No. Hey, I will just say this. I know we're laughing about the Dauntless right now. However, I took it out for a spin the other day with my new build that we skilled out, and it's not half bad.
Well, now it's not half bad,
You
maybe.
Go wash your mouth out with soap.
I'm saying that it's not the best ship out there. However, it wasn't absolutely terrible.
So in other words, it's no longer a total abortion, just
Correct.
just a morning after pill.
It has some redeeming qualities.
And of course, Milmar's probably spinning out his wine and raging right now.
No,
Eh.
I'm just drinking the wine.
He's not
Drinking
allowed.
the wine.
No one spits wine.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Not even Catholic children in church?
No. Drink
Eh.
it.
I learnt to drink the wine.
Go.
Nice. Nice. Anyway,
Getting back on topic.
on topic, Strategist, like the only other secondary skill tree at this point, Commando, only have 15 skills in it and only have 2 tiers. So, and at 15 points, if you invest 15 points in it, you get this nifty little trait called, let me just, there we go. It's called Unconventional Tactics, and it's really unconventional because activating Brace for Impact increases your damage for a short time. 15% bonus all damage to self for 15 seconds.
Shut up.
Yeah. It's wackadoo.
I'm just saying, I expect you guys to have. I expect to see a bunch of purple flying ships activating that consistently. It's a fantastic trait.
Seriously, it's free bonus damage on a trait you already have, and that skill also, instead of not only it, what is it, plus 2,000 right here. It's like it gives you bonus skill points and kinetic damage resistance.
Yeah,
And-
you basically turn your escort into a tank right at that moment.
For 15 seconds anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about the tree here. First off, we got logistical support. Again, everything hinges on threatening stance. It's a toggleable ability. God, I can't
You
talk.
got that right.
It's a toggleable ability that if you activate it, you increase the amount of threat you generate. Threat meaning in only really worse in PvE. That basically anything around you is going to stop firing at what you're firing at. It's going to turn their attention to you. But the flip side is you get a higher defense, and if you have threatening stance active, you also get bonus hull. But if it's not on, well, it's not on. Logistical support, if you're threatening, you get 30%. If you're healing yourself or anyone healing, you get 30% bonus healing. If you're not threatening, you get bonus crit chance. Then the other one is you got show of force. Again, if you're threatening, hull healing. If you're not threatening, crit severity. So this first section right here, if you're threatening and people are healing you, you get bonus healing. If you're not threatening, you're doing extra damage. The next section, you got counteroffensive. 300% incoming energy damage back to the target. It's like a mini feedback pulse again. You combine that with the science ability on the admiral level. You got yourself a nice little nifty makeshift feedback pulse that won't do anywhere near the amount of damage that Milmar's feedback pulse does. Anyway, next we got layered defense. Immunity to damage from torpedo. Wow, I didn't even realize this one. Prevent damage every 45 seconds. Well, there you go.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's just absolutely beautiful.
Remember where you didn't put points in the ablative hull armor? This basically helps that.
Pretty much. And so that 5 points will unlock the second tier here. The second tier, we got Diversionary Tactics. It's an activatable ability. Again, it depends on whether you're threatening or not. If you're threatening, you generate 50% more threat for 10 seconds. If you're not threatening, you placate foes by reducing the 50% threat. And then, on top of that, you got these two little modifiers right here with Attrition Warfare. When you're threatening and you activate Diversionary Tactics, Bridge Obster heals. Hull healing abilities is reduced by 30 seconds, and if you're not threatening, you get increased shield and hull regeneration. Remember those points we didn't put into regeneration, where they're kind of shoving it down our throats here.
I should point out, though, if I recall, historically, emergency power to shields, its effectiveness as a heal was directly related to your shield's basic regeneration level.
Yeah, this is true.
So if you actually have a high regeneration, skills like having a higher shield power will actually, it scales. If the regeneration of your shield is higher, then the higher your shield power is, does increase their natural regeneration, which is then obviously boosted by emergency power to shields.
Okay, there you go. Next we got Maneuver Warfare. This is the last skill we have in Specialist, and while you're threatening, 5% max hull per affected foe over 10 seconds. And then if you're not threatening, bonus damage. So, again, it's very defensive, offensive skill. I like it for tactical, and I like it for science. And I guess if you're a tanky engineer, if you want to play the pure tank, which previously Star Trek Online never had the option of a pure tank. Now with the skill tree and with this specialization, you can actually play a pure tank and actually survive, provided you got science captains, Milmar, that will heal you, Milmar, and keep you alive.
Provided
Milmar.
you have competent tactical captains who can keep themselves alive.
I wasn't talking about tactical captains, because good luck trying to keep those sons of bitches alive. Those suicidal sons of bitches. I'm talking about the tanky engineering captain flying in cruisers.
But when it comes to also killing things, I'm just as effective at it as you are, let's be honest. And I die less.
Yeah, but you're bursty. I'm more over time.
Yeah, exactly. I murder stuff way quicker than you. But then I have to wait, you know. It's like,
I can kill you just as fast. I just died in the process because of your feedback pulse.
Oh no. I can probably still take you.
Yeah. So anyway, Strategist. So what do we think? Do you like it? I really like it a lot. Now,
I like it.
The next question that I know people are going to hate me for even bringing this up, because it's just going to bring Cryptic's radar. OP or not OP?
I don't know, because you're losing Pilot for it as well, and there is actually some fantastic things in Pilot you're going to be missing out on.
Why are you losing Pilot when you have that as an activated primary skill?
Okay, then you're losing Intel.
Yes.
You can't have your cake and eat it. Intel and pilot are both fantastic, and both
They're
have fantastic things in
gorgeous.
them. And you have to pick one of them to keep if you
Absolutely.
want Strategist.
I want.
And that's a difficult choice.
It is, but for me, the choice is pretty easy. Space flanking. As a Federation officer, I do not have access to a raider, unless it's one of the special lockbox ships. I don't have access to a raider, so I don't have raider flanking. The only way I can get flanking and boost my damage is by space flanking, which is an intel officer ability at skill 3, and if intel's my secondary ability, then I can't have it, and I really want it. I really like space flanking.
No, I agree. I tend to go with space flanking as well.
So
I like pilot as I fly into warp core breaches all the time, but that's just me.
yes, so I that's the thing. I do too, and Scratch the Paint is a really nice pilot ability.
It really honestly is.
And I just realized I had to cancel the live stream we were supposed to do on pilot ships. So at some point we are going to go talk about the pilot tree and the pilot ships. So I promise that's going to happen.
They're fantastic. They're one of the new OP ships in the game.
Well, I think newish by this point. There's been quite a few ships that come out after them.
The Odyssey bite back. Yeah.
Yeah, the Odyssey did bite back in a really good way. We found that out yesterday.
Yeah. So that's the Strategist. I still really like it. So now I'm gonna do the giveaway at this point. Unfortunately, I don't have. Actually, I have a little bit of time left on this live stream, so I can go ahead and show you guys my scimitar, my Khopesh build, which is the tier 6 scimitar, the tactical tier 6 scimitar. But for the giveaway, go ahead and just type in Strategist in Twitch chat.
Oh, that's cruel.
And
you gotta get it right.
Yeah, if you get typos, it doesn't count. I won't take your name down.
Type Strategist into Twitch chat, and what we're giving away is not one, but 2 Narcool ships, the Lockbox and the Lobby ships.
For people not logged in on Twitch, I will check Fleet Chat, so if you put it in there, I will take your name from there as well.
And...
So while you're typing furiously, should we talk very quickly about ground?
Yes, very quickly about ground. There's only 2 things you really need to know. The upper left and the lower right are offensive skills. The upper right and the lower left are defensive skills. Fill it out accordingly, because there's just way too many kit combinations across all 3 classes for me to give you anyone a definitive skill build for anyone. Like I'd be putting up like 20 skill builds for ground if I was going to do this. But yeah, it's basically it's like an X: upper right, upper left, lower right, offensive, upper right, lower left, defensive.
Right, and one of the things that if you talk to me outside of this, we can go ahead and give you a link actually to one of the mainstay builds. It's going to give you the weapon crits that you need, as well as the health that you need and the kit performance that you need. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing that you'll have to do for yourself is just make sure that you have powerful shields, because I'm not putting any points in that. You don't need it.
Exactly. So, Milmar, just so you know, I did email you a spreadsheet, so you can take all these names down, and I'll just run a random number generator.
Yeah, I've already put them into a spreadsheet of my own. I didn't see he emailed me.
Remember, he doesn't check his email.
Don't check that email address ever.
Okay, then go ahead and share that thing with me so I can run the random number
Your
generator.
space Barbies need better fashion sense, by the way.
My what?
Oh, please. Your space Barbie needs a steak.
She's, fit.
She is scrawny. Is there anybody else who wants to enter the giveaway? We have 14 entries so far. Let me just double check I've got everyone.
Also, yes, that ship is named the Articuno. Shut up.
No one's judging except God.
Yeah, everyone who's entered so far has a. If there are people who want to enter and aren't logged in on Fleet Twitch chat, you can send a message to me in game or type into Fleet chat. I'll take your name from there also.
And while we're talking about Fleet Chat as well as this, if you're in the chat room at the moment, I see that there are 28 people watching it. However, we only have 10 followers. If you really like this live stream, then I would select that little heart button right next to followers so you can see whenever we're on.
Yes, and we are. I promise you, this will be a little bit more regular. I worked out a schedule that to make it a little bit more regular, and no Activia will be involved. I promise.
What?
Americans will get it. The Brits won't. It's just a little private joke, Francis. No need to explain to him.
Activia.
Wait, isn't that like the yogurt that's meant to have like good bacteria in it or something?
Yes. It keeps you regular.
Oh, please, like they actually.
Do you see where that's coming into play here?
Yeah, I see where it comes.
Haha. Anyway, so I promised a Khopesh build, and this is a Khopesh build. This is the RW Lugia. Forward weapons. I would love to be able to put cannons on this thing. I can't. I can't justify cannons on this thing. The damn thing moves too damn slow. I can barely justify dual beam banks on this thing, but it does work and it does decent DPS. Ideally, yeah, dual cannons. If you are having damage issues, though, I would go ahead and switch on over to regular beam arrays.
My scimitar uses beam arrays.
Yeah, there's this new school of thought that disruptors are better than anti-protons. Haven't really tested it out yet, but we'll see.
Newsflash, they are.
Yes. Then for the deflector, impulse, singular, warp core, and shield, I went ahead and did full Iconian because the 4-piece Iconian gives a team. It basically gives a team alpha strike to everyone on your team, so they activate attack pattern alpha if they're tactical or any damage dealing abilities. You give them subatomic radiant subatomic pulse. It just boosts their damage, and you clear and y'all kill stuff a lot faster and boost your DPS overall. Yeah.
Genocide.
Exactly.
It's big on the genocide.
So we got in the back we got omnidirectional and the ancient omnidirectional as well as the kinetic cutting beam. Devices we'll talk about later. Then we got this nice little gem called Plasmodic Leech. If you're a Klingon aligned Romulan, this will be really easy. If you're a Fed aligned Romulan, good luck. We got the assimilated console and something to help turn rate, but really, it's still a space whale with wings.
It's a very pretty, powerful space whale with wings.
Yes, it is. Then we got the science consoles. We got plasma generating. These are all from the embassy. I went ahead and did Drain X. As well as tactical console, they're all the same. They're locator with anti-proton. For the hangar, we went with the Romulan drone ship because they are seriously
awesome.
The best pet in the games.
They are really, really good. I really like those. I wish you could get them on stuff that wasn't the scimitar.
Absolutely.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous pet.
Yes,
also, I really enjoy just having Mirandas flying around as my pets.
or even better, Borg probes.
Yes.
Oh, Borg probes.
Okay, so skill-wise, it does have a Lieutenant Commander Universal Command hybrid slot, which it's nice, I guess. I went ahead and just did Overwhelm Emitters, Beam Overload 2, and Suppression Barrage there. That Beam Overload can be really any class, but I really like Suppression Barrage. It boosts damage overall. Your tactical slot, your tactical commander slot, tactical team 1, if you have Chemosite, use Chemosite. Attack pattern beta, beam fire at will, and attack pattern omega 3. At the end of the day, This thing is a slow-moving space whale with wings, no matter how beautiful, and beam fire will is your primary damage dealer. I got structural integrity collapse, which I really like, as well as emergency powers to weapons 2. Directed energy modulation for that additional shield penetration, and engineering team for the shield for the hull healing, which this being a Romulan ship, have paper hull, and you're gonna need it because you may just run into that sovereign class being driven by a mentally unstable beta Z that's gonna ram the ship into your hull. You got hazard emitters 1, and you got transfer shield strength 2 in science, and that's pretty much it. And I guess if you want to, you can get you can replace this universe. You don't have to take advantage of the command specialization. You can just go full science or full engineer or another tactical officer there. It's up to you. But another thing I would recommend on here is Gravity Well, because hey, you can never go wrong with Gravity Well, right, Millie?
Well.
Traits. Let's talk about your starship traits. Obviously, if you have reciprocity, go use it. But if you don't, that's okay. This actually, the scimitar actually does, and pilot ships does have pretty good traits in itself, especially or unconventional tactics from strategists. If you max that out, I kind of like. I mean, just limited on the amount of traits I can get because Romulans are just limited on the amount of traits they can get. I use a lot of my traits I'm using are from pilot ship. The subwarp sheath, which increases damage based on speed and stay on target, which auto fires torpedoes when they're in front of me. Other than that, I use the predictive algorithm threats from Intel, reciprocity, which I got out of a lockbox, and emergency weapon cycle, which I'm not sure where I got that from. Anyway.
Man, I can't even remember, and I equip it on most of my ships.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the one that came from the emergency weapons cycle? Did you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was from Excelsior, but or is it the Arbiter?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Federation T6 battlecruisers.
Oh, so that was from the that's from the yeah, they did the 3-pack, didn't they? For one for each faction. Okay, whatever that. Yeah, that is. On the Romulan side, what is it?
The Valdor, the Tier 6 Valdor.
Thank you. There you go. The Tier 6 Valdor. Okay, there you go. That's where I got it from. Memory issues.
It is very worth it. Yes.
It is. I actually do use it on a lot of my tunes. So that's pretty much a basic skill build, basic ship build for it. Skill-wise, not much difference than any other that we've done for a tactical captain. And that's pretty much it. So that is our first episode. We come to the end of it, and we got a little bit more time here. I can
haven't done the giveaway.
I know, but we want to go ahead and if there's any Q&A. You haven't told me, you haven't shared with me the spreadsheet so I could run a random number generator on it.
1 to 15.
Thank you. Crap. So yeah, that's so anyone have any questions about what we've covered so far?
Sure they do. Just give them a minute. There's a delay.
Yes, there's a delay. But how do you guys like that new logo? Anyone? Oh, there's a delay.
It's a
Bueller.
delay. It's a delay.
Bueller.
Chadox, are you actually a fleet member? I have to admit, I'm just not familiar with the @@ handle is all. I'm being a nosy bitch. Or I'm I'm honest about such things at least.
Oh, well, welcome to the Armada, Chaddix.
Aha! Well, congratulations.
Yeah, sorry
Man.
about that. It went all tabbed. Oopsie.
Oh, the worst.
Okay, so no questions for the shipwrights? All right then. Well, if that's it, I will be around for a little while. Just gonna take a quick break
I
for a
will be
little bit,
around tonight, I
and
imagine, but I'm
um,
eating first.
provided that
And
they're
whining.
still
Fine.
upright, and not totally inebriated.
What? We never get back drunk.
Bullshit!
On TeamSpeak anyway.
Bullshit!
Well, maybe in there, in 10 forward. Not in regular chat. Oh, wait, hold on. We do have one question. We have two questions. So we'll go one at a time. So what type of build for engineering?
What's a Morrigu again?
The tier 6 Valdor, isn't it?
I think so.
Again, I never remember the names Cryptic gives to these ships beyond it's like the tier 5 or tier 6 version of the ship I know the name of.
Right.
It's the Morrigu Heavy Warbird. It's a tier 6. It's the T6 battlecruiser.
All right, hold on. Let me get down there and let me find out.
1 second. Cal, the best skill build for a free-to-player is identical to a person who's paying. There's no difference between them at all. It's all determining on what kind of ship you're flying and how you want to fly it.
Absolutely. Here's the deal. I never see this game as pay to win. It's pay to get stuff early, is how I look at it.
No, it is very pay to win these days, unfortunately, due to the economics of the game.
Yes, but you can mine your dilithium and you can get really lucky and get the same kind of gear. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm stretching. Give me a break.
Let's face it, how many Federation people who don't play the game a lot can afford a plasmonic leech?
When the lockbox came out, almost everyone had it.
Well, yeah, we all had it because it was dirt cheap, and then everyone realised how expensive they were. But what I'm saying is, yeah, there is an element of pay to win in the game. However, you don't have to pay any money to still be competent and capable, and be, pull your weight in endgame content.
Exactly.
If you want to get the highest numbers in the DPS channels, well, you're gonna have to spend some money. If you want to be able to do advanced SDFs and be good at them, you don't need to spend a penny.
You know what's fantastic about that, though? Some of the people in the DPS channels are not paying players. They're FTP, though they grind enough and they have their EC, and that's what they pay with. However, If you really want to do it a lot faster and you want to maximize your build quickly, then that's when you throw the EC in or the Zen in.
Exactly.
As well, Nico, regards to your question, we don't really have time to do a full build for a Psi carrier. However, I think the actual Psi build Ikune posted would probably carry you through quite nicely, so long as on any options you have to boost hanger pets, you choose that option.
Absolutely. Yeah, except for the battery one.
correct.
Except for the battery one. The 10 points in the 5 points in engineering, you do not skip on the battery. Those things die faster, yes, but if you completely max out that tactical branch, which boosts your carrier pets, you should actually be okay. The battery is far more important than the carrier pet health. Besides, you can just relaunch them. Who cares if they die? Just send flowers to their families.
With that, we have another question. Are the specs you suggested pretty generalized in regards to captain class and ship type? The
Short answer, yes. Long answer, if you're a tactical in a carrier, which I am softening my stance on that slowly.
Jem'Hadar Dreadnought Carrier?
You should soften your stance on that pretty quickly. It is one of the big things in the game right now.
Sorry, not that one. If you're a tactical in a cruiser, rather.
Okay.
Oh.
Which, I meant to say tactical in a cruiser.
And not a battle cruiser.
And not a battle cruiser. A cruiser like the Odyssey or the Galaxy. I am softening my stance on that. I still think the only ship a tactical captain can fly, the only cruiser a tactical captain can fly effectively, is the Eclipse, the Intel cruiser.
However, we're still talking about the specs we suggested, not necessarily the ship.
Yes, you are going to run into a little bit of power level issues, but with the new skill tree, you can actually mitigate it by sacrificing a little bit of damage. So instead of the shield penetration, instead of investing all 3 points in shields, you may want to go ahead and move them over into your power levels. But and then I guess it's all a matter of moving some points around. And then it becomes a point of, do you want the ultimate ability or can you live without the ultimate ability? That's pretty much for me the question that it all boils down to when you're a tactical flying in a carrier.
Right, and I think what the big question is, if you're a tactical in a science ship, let's say that you're flying a different breed, right? And if you're a completely different breed than most at this moment, then there are certain things that you're going to want to put points into. For example, the EPG points, you're going to want to put some points there, and then you're going to want to move some points over to control, because that will definitely help you really max out. Now, these are typically on the wings type of builds. However, we can help you with that. It's just not quote unquote the norm. Those are very specialized builds that are really great if you can capitalize on them, and you can really slay some enemies really, really quickly. It's just the spec points are going to need to move a little bit. And let me tell you, I love those fringe builds. They're my favorite.
Yeah, the fringe builds like Milmar's. I know Sauron was on here earlier, and I just happened to mention a science torp build using Polaron weapons, and so we ran an ISA Invested Space Advance with him the other day, and he actually netted 60,000 DPS, and if he actually refined that build a little bit more, I'm pretty sure it's easy for him to get 100,000. And admittedly, that kind of build, that's definitely a fringe build,
Yeah.
So basically, to give you a general overview of what that build is, it's using the weapons and console set from the Delta Rep system, plus the weapons and console set from that feature, not the current featured episode, but I think the last one that gives the omnidirectional Polaron beam. So you basically are running two full weapon sets, and you got isokinetic cannon from one, and you got really great ability from the other. So there you go.
Right, and those you can fly your ship however you really want, as long as you get it spec'd just the way that you're currently flying it. You can DPS the crap out of whatever you're doing. May that be ISA, may that be anything else, but we can help you with that.
Absolutely. And Trombone 18 2004. As a new player, do I really need to listen to this section? You always need to listen to every section. You love the sound of our voices.
NPR voice.
And also, just kidding. No, really, it is a little bit. It is. We are starting to go into a little bit of 201 here. So yeah. But really, that's pretty much it. If there's no other questions, last call for questions. If not, I'm going to go close this up, and we can start either do a PvP match or do a parsed ISA just to see how everyone's TPS is.
Give it a second.
Yeah, we have to wait at least a minute or so for it to go through, and then people type back.
What epic bridge officers do you have there? You've got an epic tactical and epic science. Are those the ECH and the what?
Yeah, that's the Photonic Tactical Bridge Officer. I think that's Lita. I think.
Oh, that's Lita. Oh,
and this
one
is
for donating money to bullying efforts.
Oh, please. He donated money for stuff, like we all did.
I know. But
yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, that's
like
Lita.
We're all pretending we did it for charity. No, we didn't.
Yeah, that's Lita, and I also got the engineer too. I got actually on one tune. I have 5 Photonic Bridge Officers. I just realized. Oh my god.
You can have a whole Photonic.
I have a whole Photonic crew.
Ship. There you go. I still need to get the Borg Science Officer on a couple tunes.
No, I need that bloody EMH, but I'm going to get him this year. I will not leave this desert alone in Las Vegas until they give me the code.
Oh, you're going to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole different conversation, and we should have this offline. But I just want to say, since there's no other questions, no anything else, I want to thank all of you for joining us today. It was so fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. That was a great turnout. That was, I think, not so much our highest one, but close to one of our highest.
Close. I mean, we were idling just below 30 most of the time.
Yeah. Right, and then remember, if you like the if you like the not podcast, but the live stream, then go ahead and click that little heart that's underneath the right hand of the screen, and then you'll know every time we go on. So you, if you're just playing a game and you don't see the posts, you'll notice that we're doing this on the regular.
Yep, and also the live stream will be posted to the Stonewall YouTube channel shortly, and yeah, so you guys can refer to it if you have any other questions. I'll go ahead and we've already posted the 3 skill builds up on Imgur. Yeah, I'll repost it again on the thread, and that's pretty much it. So thank you again for joining us. Be sure to favorite us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.